What's up? Today I'm going to be going through the beat that was used for Idols to Idols by PdotO and Zubz. So I've got the project open here and I just want to kind of like rediscover the project. So I haven't gone through it. So there might be parts that, are confusing for me too. But yeah, so we'll learn as we go along. Cool. So let me just bump it a bit. Okay, cool. So I'm just gonna go top to bottom. I think that might be the best way, and then I'll wrap it up with having a look at what's going on mix-wise and any other comments that I wanna add. Cool. So if I solo the very first track that we have. Okay, so that's just a nexus, right? So I'm gonna trigger some of this stuff on my MIDI just so I can hear what's going on. Okay, so it's nexus, right? Yeah, I think it's just a stock lead on nexus. And these chords, I don't know where on earth I got them from. Some of them work, some of them don't work, but then they do work. It's weird. Nice, easy, simple. Cool. Let me see how I treated that one. Okay, so there's quite a bit going on. I have an EQ. Let me just play it. Probably just trying to chop out any lower end. Then I've got flanger. This looks like a stock. Sorry, it looks like a preset that I've used here. I had distortion. I think it comes on. No, it doesn't. It might. I'll check just now. Then we've got this filter, which also does, it works. I do believe it works. Yeah. So it works in this row here. So it works in the beginning. You hear how it's nice and closed, and it opens up slowly. So you can see the cut is just opening. All I did was right click here, create automation clip, done. Right. Timeless, that's the delay that you're hearing. And then I probably just wanted to chop off any extras that I had at the end, just to make sure it's clean. So without any effects of any kind. Bring in some of that. Just gives it depth and dynamic and all those other nice things. Cool. Next row. See what's up here. The hell is this? Okay, so this looks like an unused sound. I'm not gonna ask too many questions. That's how it is. Let me see what it was attached to. Arcade. Huh. Wonder. Anyway. I know what it is. It's the vocals. It's vocals. There was a specific, if you listen to the actual song Idols to Idols by PdotO, they are vocals. Really like cinematic vocals. Let me actually see if I can just play the beat itself. Go to my artist. I'm gonna go to P.O. See, I'm literally doing this on the fly, so idols to idols. Let me just bump the beat so you can hear a bit of it. Actually, here's the sound itself. Perfect. Cool. So here it is. Yeah. It's a bit more here. Right, and I remember what I was doing. I was trying to slowly bring it in so that when the chorus drops, then it's there. So I think I worked on this initially. Right, so that's, you can hear that's just some opera kind of like classical symphonic stuff. It's just chopped and it goes really nice, goes really nicely with the chords that I've got going. So it just adds another layer at the back, which is what I really enjoy doing. So I'm just gonna mute that. So that what I just played now is essentially what's going on in this line here. You can see what type of chopping, well, what I did with the sample. I had all sorts going on. Cool, so I'm just gonna go through to the next line. Okay, here's where we have our 808, very clean. Okay, it's clearly trying some gymnastics here with the 808. Unnecessary, but I suppose it adds that little bounce to it. I wanted to play it like it was an instrument. Literally every note needs a little glide or something. Have a look here at this area here, just a little. And again here. Small little elements that just give a little bit more bounce to the 808. 808 is down, exact same situation happening with the kick. So I just copied these notes and I brought them through here. On one of my previous videos, someone asked whether or not the kick is playing different notes. It isn't. So the kick that I've got going here plays the same note regardless of which note you trigger. I need to figure out why it does that, but it's great for me because I don't have to come back in here and just, you know, shift everything so that it's on the same note. I also wouldn't want it to hit different notes because as a sample, when you start changing the pitch, then it affects how hard the punch will hit. So the punch of the kick or the bass of the kick, if you go too low or too high, you start to lose elements of it. So I prefer that it just knocks the same note. The pitch element, you know, the tonal element, I'll get from the 808. Yeah, so they'll play ideally together throughout the track. You can see they're playing same time. So when I play them together, then another thing I do is the kick isn't hitting for every 808. Otherwise, the kick's gonna sound too busy. So I can hear already here. Okay, it's not there. It's over here. You hear that? So here we've got the first note, the initial note, right? Second note, great. Then here, there's two notes up here. Whereas what I did for the kick, first note, second note of the kick. See, so I missed one out there just so that there isn't too much kick going on. Also gives more variation. Cool. Actually going through this one quite quickly. Next element, let's go into what we have going on here. I know it's not chronological order, but I want to deal with a lot of the verse first. So from here, I actually just go into this other stuff up here. I actually have no idea where I got these chords from. I'm sure I was just messing about and got these ones. But you can see that they follow these chords at the top. That's it. Right, that is, if I can just check, we have true piano. Right. Did a little bit of tweaking here. I used the sapphire option. If we go across to where true piano is, I know there's vinyl on it. Here it is. And I just added a little bit of warp just so that it sounds a little aged. So normally it would sound like this. But with a little bit of age, this is what it sounds like. You see, I haven't added a lot. When you add too much, that's where things go wrong. It's terrible. Okay, let's hope I don't save over that. Cool. Let's jump into this sound. I don't know what I'm doing now. And I'm just literally just gonna go back to going in chronological order. Just bear with me. So here's the first element of the chorus. It's exclusively here, and it's not playing. That's because of this. Let me unmute stuff first. There we go. Cool. Sounds like an Icarus. Yes, it is. Filter Melody 2. This is stock with Icarus. This is just a counter melody. Can I call it a counter melody? So if this is what we've got going, this is what we're all used to, right? Well, let me play that vocal at the bottom, as well as the chords. Let's bring in the piano as well, and then the first part of that counter melody. So I'm just thinking, with the vocals on top of it, this type of stuff kind of disappears. You'd have to be listening, looking for these sounds specifically. You'll hear them, but they won't jump out at you first. You'll even see by the way that I've mixed them. This is whereas the very next sound, as well as the very next sound, very, very low in volume. So you need your headphones in, and yeah, or you need to be bumping it really loud. I don't know, either way. So I can see I've copied the same notes for the second part of this counter melody. Wow, that's cheesy. That's a dance lead. Yep. It's silent. Okay. Same thing. Okay, all together. Well, let me not play that just yet. It's gonna confuse the situation. Okay, that's the majority of my melodic elements. You can see how I created the beat. I'm very methodical. Melody at the top, counter melody that follows, try and supplement the original melody, and then have vocals and all the other stuff come in. Then you can even see I even started with an envelope before I got into the actual drum elements. So yeah, that just goes to show this is exactly how I created the beat. This is my thought process. So let's go into the elements of the drums, and yeah, you'll see. Nice solid snare. There it is. I've done absolutely nothing to it. It was perfect the way that it came. Now, this is a loop. I know I've used it on more than one occasion. It's percussion. Let me bring it in just now. This is laziness. I can tell you right now, this is laziness. I literally just put down anything I could find, and I built upon that with another hi-hat that joins in. Wow. Yep, that's it. Then changes up a little bit. Okay. Let me bring in that kick so you can hear that as well. Okay, should be a crash. Well, yeah. Cymbal. I do this from time to time where I'll bring in a cymbal or another element playing softly. So in this situation, it's actually this one here. And it's playing, it's fairly even, it's fairly low in volume. Reason, I just want the first bit or the A section to sound different to the B section. Okay, so this is the sample that I got. I'm sure it is out of time, but I managed to bring it in. You can see that now this percussion is just going to bring everything together. Yeah, let me play it all. Okay, so a lot of the groove has come from, a lot of the groove has come from this one here. I've got no leg to stand on. It is being held together by this loop. Say what you want about loops, but this is the glue that sometimes brings your entire track together. Before I started this video, I just played it quickly without this because I always want to see what elements you know, are good and bad within the beat, and the beat loses a lot of its bounce throughout the verse. And I think this percussive part was a lot of the reason why it was easy for P and Zubz to write to it. There was something going along with the percussion. It just wasn't a simple, you know, drum beat. Anyway, let me jump back into the beat itself. So it changes up for the chorus. Let's see what I added here. Okay, so at this point the percussion drops out for a bit and it's just this straight up hi-hat laziness again. Okay, let's see what else I've got here. Secondary snare. So we've got the normal snare, which is just hitting as usual. 2, 3, 4. Okay, now this is the secondary snare. All it's doing is just, I don't know what to call it. It's like, I can only think of it like a train on a train track, just trying to keep it trudging forward. Yeah, so that's what that is. And I think I've gone through all the elements of the beat, except for this little breakdown. I'll elaborate more on that just now. Okay, in this last little section before the verse comes in, yeah, let me just play it first so we hear what's going on. Only difference here, okay, well, a lot of elements you can see have been pulled out for this section. The piano remains, so does the beginning synth, this one, as well as the piano. The percussion stays, and then the bass line. Okay, one thing I've found with some of my bass lines is the notes, as I'm working on them, sometimes they don't all fit where they should be. So I know for a fact that when I initially worked on this, this was up, it was an octave higher. So I literally just pushed control as well as up, that sent it up an octave. But if you listen to it, it sounds a bit cheesy. Yeah, it sounds a bit cheesy as it is. It works, but I feel like this works better. So 1 octave down for your notes that get too high. So for the second part here, I brought this note down and as well. Okay. Then the filters also act at this point. So let's see what the filters are doing. Huh. That filter might be acting on... Yeah. Wow. It's acting on the... this here. It's acting on the percussion. So let's see what it's doing there. I'm actually genuinely curious. You hear that? So here's without it. You can hear it in its full form. And this is here how it is for this section. I know I only did that just to give more space for whatever's going on there. Remember, you don't need your sounds to hit as hard when there's less elements in the beat. Okay, the second one, Fab Filter Timeless. Huh, I think that's when this comes in. So if we listen to this very same percussion, you'll see how much I rely on it. So over here, if you hear it, there's no real delay. All right, but here the delay kicks in and you'll hear what happens to it. Kind of gets eerie and more further in the distance. Right here. Kind of like a distant memory. And then it comes back. And it goes into the beat. Cool. That's all the elements done and dusted. Just everything's been linked. Well, I assume it has. Let's go over to the master. My master, working with a Maximus. I've got a filter here for the entire beat. I don't think I'm using it. Got the glitch effect, which I don't think I'm using either. If I check, nah, I'm not using it. Tube Tech, that's not doing too much. Nah. Yeah. So what I did with this song in particular, I had everything here linked to the mixer. File, export, wave file. Let's just to wherever it would go. Split mixer tracks. Wave 24-bit start. Boom. Done. Got my separates. I made sure that the Maximus was off. You don't want to apply a master here, get the track sounding big and bold and beautiful, and then send it over to Cubase, and you're stuck with a very crammed space. So I deactivated that, and then I sent it through. I'll then do it again in Cubase. I think what might be a good idea is if I open up the project in Cubase. So as a follow-up to this, I'll then do another video where I go into Cubase and I just give an overview of what I did. I'll comment on the vocals a little bit, and yeah, that should be that. Peace.